recording. Whatever we want to delete, I'll delete.
Well, it's going, so.
All right. So, my love. What does Valentine's Day mean to you?
Well, it's a day of love.
It's a day of love.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Everybody celebrates
when
it.
did Valentine's Day start?
Like a long time ago.
About what year do you think?
Like probably the 1500s.
Okay.
A long freaking time ago.
Well, Valentine's Day.
Am I allowed to say swears on here?
I don't care what you say.
Okay.
Valentine's Day started in the year 496.
400, not 1400s.
496.
So you get notes?
I took a couple. Just bear with me here. Thought to originate from a Roman festival. The Romans had a festival called Lupercalia.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of February, officially starting their springtime.
I think they talked about that on that Sabrina show I was watching,
Yeah.
Lupercalia or whatever.
Well,
that's something I think different.
That officially started their springtime. Now we can go over here. And Lupercalia was an ancient pagan festival held each year in Rome on February 15th. Although Valentine's Day shares its name with a martyred Christian saint, some historians believe the holiday is actually an offshoot of Lupercalia. Unlike Valentine's Day, however, Lupercalia was a bloody, violent, sexually charged celebration.
Yeah, because that's how they celebrated their shit.
Okay.
Blood sacrifices and fucking. Right. That's what they did.
No one knows the exact origin of Lupercalia, but it has been traced back as far as 6th century BC. Or BCE, if you want to.
That BC stuff confuses me.
Yeah. But anyways, according to Roman legends, the ancient king Aemilius ordered Romulus and Remus, his twin nephews and founders of Rome, to be thrown into the Tiber River to drown in retribution of their mother's broken vow of celibacy. I don't know what that last word means, but
celibacy, that means where you don't.
Well, she did that, and they were supposed to drown. However, a servant took pity on them and placed them inside of a basket on the river. The river god carried the basket and the brothers down river to a wild fig tree, where it became caught in the branches. The brothers were then rescued and cared for by a she-wolf in a den at the base of Palatine Hill, where Rome was founded. So yeah, that's a little bit about the story of Lupercalia and how Valentine's Day, there's more. Would you like me to read more?
I don't know. Well, I mean, you can. Go ahead.
Okay.
Since you came prepared with notes, and I'm just like quickly Googling here because
the twins later adopted by a shepherd and his wife and learned their father's trade. After killing their uncle who ordered their death, they found the cave den of the she-wolf who nurtured them and named it Lupercal. Okay. It's thought that Lupercalia took place to honor the she-wolf and please the Roman fertility god Lupercus. And then they had some ritual sacrifices where they sacrificed goats. Let's see here. The festival began at Lupercal Cave with a sacrifice of one or more male goats, a representation of sexuality, and a dog.
And a dog.
Yeah.
And a dog.
And a dog. I don't really know why the dog's in there, but it's in there anyways.
So what I'm seeing here about this Rome stuff is there was an Emperor Claudius II who banned marriage because he thought it distracted young soldiers and illegally marrying couples in the spirit of love until he was caught and sentenced to death.
That is a note I also took.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Let me read my story before you interrupt with facts, okay?
Okay.
You can come
I mean,
at
it might
me.
not be facts. I
It
mean,
could
we don't
be
really know.
There are facts. They're facts you came up with. Everything's a fact. Anyways, the sacrifices were performed by Luperci, a group of Roman priests. Afterwards, the foreheads of two naked leprosy were smeared with the animal's blood using the bloody sacrificial knife.
Did they make them into hearts?
No.
Like on their foreheads?
No. It is said that the reason why we use hearts in the color red is because of the blood in the sacrifice.
And like heart, it like pumps your blood.
Because of that, we share the same. Yeah. Anyways, where was I at over here? The sacrifices were performed by the priest. Afterwards, the foreheads of two naked leprosy were smeared with the animal's blood using the bloody sacrificial knife. The blood was then removed with a piece of milk-soaked wool as the leprosy laughed. It's a crazy time back then.
Sounds like it.
So your definition of what Valentine's Day means to you is just love. It's a little bit more crazy back in the day of what these guys did. Okay.
Okay.
In ancient Rome, feasting began after the ritual sacrifice. When the feast of Lupercal was over, the leprosy cut strips, also called thongs, of Febura. It is spelled Februa, of goat hide from the newly sacrificed goats. I can edit it out. Go ahead. What do you need, baby?
We're doing a video right now. What's up? No, you're fine. Say it. Hurry up.
So you know Tamale in the balloon?
Yeah.
Well, he ran too far, and he slammed inside the door. Well, not slammed, but he almost slammed.
All right. Anyways, when the feast was over, they cut strips, also called thongs, of Febura. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. I should have.
That sounds like
looked that up.
February. I mean, that would make sense. February.
That's where they got the name February.
Bet.
Yes, we were gonna get there too. Of goat hide from the newly sacrificed goats. They ran naked or nearly naked around Valentine, whipping.
Wait a minute. Valentine.
Will you just let me talk? You're a horrible person to do
I don't
this.
know what all you prepared. I'm just speaking on what I'm saying.
I didn't prepare much. I just wanted to look up and see what all this stuff was.
Like friends, Valentine.
It's a name of the place. The name of the place is Palatine. The cave was found.
Yeah, but like we could be pals, like Palantine.
The brothers were cared for by a she-wolf in a den at the base of Palatine Hill.
All right.
Where Rome was founded.
Well, they're probably pals over there.
I'm sure they're all pals. For sure they're pals. Anyways, they cut those into strips, the goat hide, from the newly sacrificed goats. They ran naked or nearly naked around Palatine, whipping any woman within striking distance with the thongs.
That's kind of ass.
Well, you guys probably deserved it. I'm just saying, maybe back in the day, you guys should have probably banded together and really stuck it to the men. Instead, you guys didn't do that. That's not. You ruined my life. That's all I know. Anyways, we would whip you guys within striking distance. So you're lucky I didn't get a goat. If I would have gotten a goat hide whip and tried to whip you right here?
Oh, I'd have
What
beat
would
your
you-
ass.
Okay,
Oh, I'd
you
have
see
beat
why?
you so hard.
You see why this stopped? This isn't even. They stopped celebrating this sometime, and I don't know exactly when. Anyways, during Lupercalia, the men randomly chose a woman's name from a jar to be coupled with them for the duration. Yeah, to be coupled with them
Oh,
for the
they did do
duration
that on
of the
Sabrina.
festival.
Yes, I
Yes, they
remember
would draw a
now.
name from a
They didn't do
jar,
it that way, but yeah.
and that would be the person that they would be with for the duration of the festival.
See, on that show, they did
Often,
strings. It was like musical chairs.
right? Because magic, right? Okay. Anyways, often the couple stayed together until the following year's festival. Many fell in love and married.
Down there, it was like a one night stand kind of thing.
Over time, nakedness during Lupercalia lost popularity. The festival became more chaste, if still undignified, and women were whipped on their hands by fully clothed men. So they enjoyed beating their women still, even though they just didn't want to run around naked no more. I imagine a lot of them had micro penises and they just didn't like it.
Small dick syndrome.
Yeah, and they were like, look, dude, it's easier to just not
Smack
get
your
laughed at
hands.
and still beat these women. So that's what they did. I'm not saying Romans got a small penises or nothing. I'm not here to say that. But for some reason, they wanted to keep their clothes on. All right. I don't know this guy's name, but in Plutarch's life of Julius Caesar, Caesar famously refused a golden crown represented to him by Mark Antony.
And
Antony.
Mark Anthony and Julius Caesar were a big deal with Cleopatra.
Okay. Caesar refused a golden crown represented to him by Mark during the feast of Lupercalia. Now, where we get our name Valentine is from Saint Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there were several legends surrounding the life of Saint Valentine. The most common is that on one February 14th, during the 3rd century AD, a man named Valentine was executed by the Roman Emperor Claudius II after being imprisoned for assisting persecuted Christians and secretly marrying Christian couples in love. As the story goes, during Valentine's imprisonment, he tried converting Claudius to Christianity. Claudius became enraged and ordered Valentine to reject his faith or be killed. He refused to forsake his faith, so Valentine was beheaded. Legend also tells of another story that happened during Valentine's imprisonment, that he tortured a girl named Julia, the blind daughter of his jailer. The legend states God restored Julia's sight after she and Valentine prayed together. On the eve of his execution, Valentine supposedly penned a note to Julia and signed it, "From your Valentine." And that's where you would get "From your Valentines" on all our notes and
See,
all our love letters.
and I'm seeing slightly here too, like another legend was Valentine was killed for attempting to help Christians escape prison in Rome, and that he sent the first Valentine message to them, like not just to her, but crazy, all these different takes on things.
I wish people knew how to write. Like, if more people knew how to write, we'd get one story and it'd be factual. But no, we got all these hearsays, and they're good enough for me. Some historians also believe more than one man named Valentine was executed by Claudius II. Despite the ambiguity surrounding Valentine and his life, the Catholic Church declared him a saint and listed him in Roman martyrology as being martyred on February 14th. Thanks to Saint Valentine's reputation as a patron of lovers, he became a symbol of with romance. In the late 5th century AD, Pope Gelasius, yeah, we're going to go with that. Gelasius I eliminated the pagan celebration of Lupercalia and declared February 14th a day of celebration and martyrdom. I don't think I said that right. Of celebration of the martyrdom of Saint Valentine. Instead, although it's highly unlikely to be intended the day to commemorate love and passion, in fact, some biblical scholars warn Christians not to celebrate Valentine's Day
Mm-hmm.
at all, since it's thought to be based on pagan rituals.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, Valentine's Day uses some of Lupercalia's symbols, intentionally or not, such as the color red, which represented the blood sacrifice during Lupercalia, and the color white, which signified the milk used to wipe the blood clean.
That's probably why, like, Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't celebrate, like they don't celebrate Christmas or Easter, like
A lot
really
of people
anything,
don't do a lot of
because,
stuff, and there's
well,
reasons
because they're
why. It's
afraid of
religion.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly. And white, which signifies the milk used to wipe down the blood clean and blood clean and represents new life and procreation. Like many ancient traditions, there's a lot of haziness surrounding the origins and rituals of Lupercalia and how they influenced Valentine's Day. Lupercalia is no longer a mainstream public celebration for obvious reasons, but some non-Christians still recognize the ancient event on February 14th instead of Valentine's Day and celebrate in private.
Seeing that Pope Gelasius, what I'm seeing here is it started because France and England birds started their mating season around February 14th.
Well, and that's just a lot of stuff that I felt like could be known out there. I never knew the origin of Valentine's Day when it started.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Valentine's Day was a crappy day. It was filled with not love.
Do you remember our
You
first
know.
Valentine's?
Yes. Do you?
Yes.
Yeah. Where did we eat at on our first Valentine's Day, my love?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
And where did we eat at today, my love?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
But they're not my favorite.
No. But when we left Buffalo Wild Wings, how did that day go?
It went kind of fucking shit because I was the driver. Okay, so I was in high school. We were all in high school. And I was the driver for this like little Valentine's Day double date with a third wheel kind of thing. Or fifth wheel, I guess. And everyone was like, oh no, let's go to this place next. And I was like, okay. And everyone was like, no, go, no, go. Well, I thought no and go were the same thing. So, anyways, I made us get into a little fender bender in the middle of the town, and then everyone took off whenever the cops came, including
I'm
this
not
guy.
sitting there waiting for the cops. We weren't even together.
You
guys
left me.
I wasn't with you. I was trying to, yeah, but was we?
So you
No.
leave me whenever the police show up.
Listen,
Rude.
I don't like cops, and I didn't like the fact that you made me buy the other girl there a flower just because she didn't have a date. I wasn't dating her either. We didn't need to get into that. I didn't want to buy her a flower, but I had to.
So you just like ducked out on me in front, like when the cops are coming, because I made you buy somebody else a flower to be nice.
Now let's think about this. A bunch of kids in a car get into an accident. Immediately, we're getting charged. What'd you get out of that, by the way?
Nothing.
Okay, then shut up.
Well, no, actually, I had to go to court.
Oh, and then you probably got nothing out of
Probably got
court.
a ticket or something.
Yeah, $70.
I don't know.
You
My
ran
mom
into
dealt with
somebody
it.
who was yelling whiplash.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that old lady, whiplash, and her husband's like, "Calm down. You're fine." Remember? Yeah. I don't like cops either.
You guys all left. You like cops. Not that you don't like cops.
No,
You just
I like
at the
cops.
time you got in a lot of
At the
trouble, so
time,
you were like,
yeah, you didn't want me to be in your car. It was worse for you. I
yeah,
saved you a lot of trouble by
whatever.
not being in that car.
Whatever, because that could have like
The
came
car
back
would
at
have
you
been searched
later.
and everything if they'd have
That
seen me
could have
there.
came back at you later, like, oh, okay, so maybe I shouldn't be with him because if he leaves when the going gets tough.
Anyways,
Anyways,
and how long ago was that?
well, we'll be together 15 years this April, so that would have been Valentine's Day that same year, so 15 years.
You couldn't have just. Okay. That was a lot of math
I
to
know.
come up with that. All right. In 15 years, we've had 15 of these beautiful Valentine's days together.
Mhm.
Is there anything you would change?
No, this is the best one because I got my cats,
Nothing to do. Okay.
my Tavali.
But not me. I mean, I'm still
I
here
mean, like
too.
you've consistently been here for 15 Valentines. This is my first one with my little pumpkin. So
Why can't you throw us all in the. Never mind.
because you're not Tavali.
Okay. Anyways, I would like to say that I've enjoyed every one of these 15 years with you.
Well, I've enjoyed them with you
And I
too.
can't wait to enjoy many more.
Many more.
Do you have any other things that you would like to say about Valentine's Day?
Well, like I love you and I love the kids and my cats. And other than that, it's just a day of the week, really. Like anytime we've ever tried to go out for anything on Valentine's Day, it sucks. Like the wait
I know.
sucks.
So we did this.
Like remember
days
2
early.
years ago, whenever we went to Fort Wayne and we thought we'd be all right, and it was like, no, it's a 3-hour wait. So we just smashed in our car and watched a movie on the
Remember going
dashboard.
with other people, and it was always like, but if it's just me and you, we can totally get in and sit somewhere, just two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get a table for 6 is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was pretty cool though how we just put on a little movie on our phone and just ate the takeout in the Olive Garden
we do what
parking
we
lot.
gotta do, you know. Yeah, dinner and
15
a movie.
minute to go or 3-hour to go in.
15-minute in a movie, and you get fed in the middle of your movie. You can't beat that.
Right there in the
You just
front
have
seat.
to enjoy sitting in your car and watching stuff.
You know, I've worked home health for so long. I don't even care none about sitting in my car.
As long as you're with me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Well, that's all I had for today. I just wanted to let you know what Valentine's Day originated and everything.
Well, you didn't even talk about Cupid. And I got something about Cupid.
Let's talk about Cupid. I didn't.
So, he's a little cherub.
I told
little
you.
cherub.
Hold on.
What?
Whenever I said Valentine's Day was not, I don't know much about it.
Really?
No, I don't.
Cupid's little arrow bow
I
angel, the
didn't.
fat
I didn't
angel
celebrate
baby.
it with anybody. I didn't do anything with anybody. Nobody wanted to.
My mom.
It's not like I was a great kid. I was missing teeth growing up. Like nobody wanted to be my Valentine. So.
Well, I became your Valentine, but my
Well, yeah, and
mom.
I ain't let that one go. See,
She always tried so hard to make everything so
since
special.
17.
So for Valentine's, she would always get me and my brother like a little box of chocolates, and she would sometimes get like because back then we had CDs and DVDs, whatever. She'd always get us one of those too of whatever we were into at the time. She always tried, but yeah, this little Cupid. So he's all the way back to 700 BC. The Greek god of love named Eros was a handsome, immortal man, whatever. Well, they adopted him into the image of a cute little cherub with a bow and arrow. So they named him Cupid. And that's how he got linked. And so Cupid's like the little love matcher guy. So, like, let's say you were in a crowd and Cupid was wanting to be on some fuck shit. He'd come up and he'd ping ping somebody, and then he'd ping ping somebody else. And then because of that, they'd be together.
And that's how they found love.
According to that legend, yes.
And where is that based out of? Because mine was Rome.
Greece.
See, mine was Rome. Is Rome Greece?
No.
Okay, so now
Rome's
we're crossing
in Italy.
we're crossing into two different.
So Greece is
different
like your
things
Zeus
here.
and Poseidon, and then Rome, like Italy stuff, Zeus would be what's his name? What do they call him in Zeus? Jupiter.
You
Well,
would get me lost on that one because
well, anyways, but I know like on like supernatural type shows, like actually I think on Supernatural or like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Cupid's like the bad guy in that episode, and he's like causing all kinds of problems with his little pew pew, his little arrow. Yes. And then in the 1840s, Valentine's cards were mass produced because of the factory boost. That's when they started coming out with like the lace and stuff. Valentine's Day flowers came back to the 17th century. King Charles II of Sweden learned the language of flowers, which pairs different flowers with specific meanings. And he learned that on a trip to Persia and then introduced it to Europe. So the red roses are deep love. There's other meanings to other flowers, but I don't see that right here because I didn't have time to look up anything.
I told you this was going to go down for a week.
Nearly 250
1 week,
million.
I said.
I'm a busy woman. I've
Really?
had video games to do. I
Video
work.
games.
I've had cats to play with. I've had books to read.
You've attacked my village
kids.
on Coin Master for the last 18 times, and you've been
Don't
busy.
take the smoke.
You've been busy.
So nearly 250 million roses are grown in preparation for Valentine's each year. And a lot of the countries like Ecuador, Kenya, and Colombia, they ship them to the U.S. because they don't grow in cold places and, it's nice over there.
Yeah. Where we're going.
The color. Okay, so right here's more colors. So pink, purple, or white symbolize happiness, royalty, and sympathy. So pink would be happiness, purple is royalty, and white is sympathy. So those ones can be given on that holiday too. What are you smiling about?
I just love the way you look. You're beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. You're beautiful too. So people spend a lot on love. Over $200 billion on Valentine's gifts were spent in 2019. A lot of money. How much? 20 billion. Over 20 billion were spent in 2019 on Valentine's gifts.
I thought you said million. That's a lot of money.
Americans send 145 million Valentine cards each year. Oh, speaking of that, my grandma and grandpa,
right?
Like they're usually down at their like South house and stuff. No, they're not. No, they're still down there.
They're in Tennessee now.
Since they sold the house. But yeah, but you know how they're always gone like right after Christmas through May? Well, they always, even when I was little, they send Valentines like to me, to the kids. I know, it's really sweet of them. And people spend millions of dollars on gifts for their pets. So like today we got balloons for my kitties.
We spend a lot of money on your cats. And I think we spend more just on a regular day. We just run through the store, see something, and he'd like that, and then we get it.
My boy.
Right. What do my dogs get?
Pat
to
on
just
the head.
Sit around here with me all day.
Well, the Valentine's Day gift that people spend the most on is, what do you think? What do you think people spend the most on for Valentine's?
For Valentine's Day, a gift? Is it jewelry?
Yeah, candy and flowers are the most common, but the most expensive would be jewelry, of course.
Of course, one necklace can be hundreds, thousands of dollars.
The first heart-shaped box of chocolates was introduced in 1861 by that Cadbury, like the Cadbury eggs.
I don't care for those.
No, me neither. But that Cadbury guy, he's the one that started that.
Well, I'm glad for that.
Conversation hearts, those like little like be mine or kiss me, like those little.
Yeah, those little chalk things that nobody likes to eat. I actually had those given to me once.
I used to throw them at people on the bus.
There was one girl growing up in Continental. She tried to give me a Valentine's Day gift. I don't remember her name. It was a little stuffed animal doggy and little candy hearts. But I didn't
had Valentine's.
But I didn't understand Valentine's, and I was already at an age where I didn't like it, I didn't care for it, so I walked by the trash and just threw it in and walked away.
Wow. You probably hurt her feelings.
I had. I'm sorry.
She had to clean some toilets around the house for that fucking money.
Yeah. I also just don't care. I don't know how to show affection like that. I don't know how to show affection.
Yeah, you kind of are.
I'm a lot better than I used to be, trust me.
I know. So those like little conversation hearts, they started off as medical lozenges. So they were used like sore throat, like cough drop, like lozenges. Oh. They started out like that. They were medical lozenges. And the result was America's first candy making machine because the pharmacist started shifting his focus from making those lozenges to candy instead. Didn't know that.
Made boo-boos of money.
But it wasn't until 1866 that the printed messages came on there. So it took
So
a
really,
little
it
bit
was
of
just little
time.
candy hearts with no
Mhm.
messages.
But then once they
But
developed their
still,
machine,
those are really cool, and it's kind of like candy corns of. I
I
mean,
love candy corn.
those are basically candy hearts on Valentine's Day or
Just
candy
nothing but
corns.
sugar
Like, come on,
chunks.
exactly.
So nobody, let me see here. That one doesn't make no sense. So nearly 6 million couples get engaged on Valentine's Day. But I want people to understand this. If you're being active around Valentine's Day, your summer is blowed. So if you don't want to be pregnant in the summertime, be smart around Valentine's Day. So it's celebrated differently in different parts of the world. So like Latin America, they celebrate it as El Dia de los Enamorados, which is Day of Lovers. They exchange flowers and chocolates, but they also show gratitude to their friends. But in Japan, it's customary for just women to give confections to the man in their lives. So women do all the gift giving. Whereas, like, I feel like in America, usually it's men doing the gifting for the females, which probably lines up the smacking with the goat thongs back in the BC time.
Hey, listen.
Like, here's your gift, bitch. Like, let me blood up your knuckles.
When it came down to like doing that, though, if you were a woman at that time, wouldn't you just go like and hide somewhere for a little while and be like, I'm off duty. I ain't going out tonight. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this whole weekend, this whole week is done. I ain't going. And then you just stay in the woods for a little while. No men's gonna beat you. Because I imagine it's more than just getting beat. You were being tooken.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
raped and
if
stuff.
you drew the wrong name and you didn't like that girl, you didn't go with that girl. No, you went and took somebody else's girl. As
Yeah.
yeah.
So
yeah.
XOXO didn't always mean hugs and kisses. So in the Middle
Yes.
Ages, the X was a Christian cross, is what it was symbolized. And the letters ended with the sign of the cross and a kiss to symbolize an oath. That eventually became the hugs and kisses. Lovebirds are actual birds, in case you didn't know that.
I didn't know that lovebirds were actual
You
birds.
did.
Yes. Aren't those the two birds that are in I'm wanting to say Home Alone at the very end. They were two little or those could have been doves.
So it says
I don't know.
it's a common name for agapornis porn. Agapornis.
And this is where your
Valentine's
mind
and
goes.
porn. Anyways,
This is where your mind goes.
this bird
every
is a
time.
type this bird is a type of parrot that's native to Africa and can be found throughout the eastern and southern regions. So they always travel in pairs. That's why they call them lovebirds.
If
So
one pair dies, or if one of the pairs dies, does the other one die?
You'd have to look that
Do
up.
they mate for life?
Look it up. Look it up right now. Come on.
You're on your phone.
I got something else pulled up.
Okay, go on. Keep talking.
So
What are the birds called? Lovebirds?
Yeah. 4 states have a city named Valentine. So Arizona, Nebraska, Texas, and Virginia have cities with that name. Yeah, I think that's pretty much my facts right there. Unless some more pop. Oh, the History Channel's always got stuff on there. I love the History Channel. I like learning about stuff. Vinegar Valentines. Gross. During the Victorian era.
Lovebirds are monogamous birds, meaning they mate for life. When paired up, lovebirds will often, and I didn't click on it, they will often, well, let's go, dude. I can click on it again. Lovebirds. They're very, weird looking things. I don't know where it went. I lost it.
We'll find it. Anyways, so this Vinegar Valentines discouraged suitors. So during the Victorian era, those who didn't want the attention of certain suitors would anonymously send Vinegar Valentines. These cards, also called penny dreadfuls, were the antithesis of customary Valentines, comically insulting and rejecting unwanted admirers. So if you didn't want somebody, you would just send them Vinegar Valentines because that shit stinks. The term wearing your
That
heart.
would be bad.
Yeah.
Or like, what's the other one? Ammonia? Oh my goodness, that has
That's
such a
like, that smells like
strong
cat
smell. I know, and it's so strong. Go on.
So wearing your heart on your sleeve, it's a term that has origins with picking a Valentine. So men would draw names of the women who they would be coupled with during a festival in Rome. Must have just been like later on because it said,
Lupercalia. It's
but
the
it says
same
Middle
thing.
Ages. But
they didn't do away with it right away. I don't remember the year they did away with it, but it was still being celebrated forever.
mm-hmm.
I mean,
So it says after choosing, the men wore the names on their sleeves to show their bond during the festivities.
ooh, so that way their girl couldn't get stolen. And the ones that didn't wear it on their sleeves didn't want nobody to know that they was with Hagrid down the road down there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Which she needs love too, and that's fucked up. Anyways, I'd go down to her house.
You find out about the lovebirds?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Lovebirds are, you probably already said it, a type of small parrot found in Africa. There are 9 different species of lovebirds, all of which have a range that extends to Senegal and Gambia in the west of Ethiopia and Somalia in the east. Lovebirds can be found in a variety of habitats, including savannas, woodlands, and gardens. They typically eat seeds, fruits, and insects. Lovebirds are monogamous birds, meaning they mate for life. When paired up, lovebirds will often preen each other's feathers, and sit close together. If one partner dies, the other will often not find another mate. And that's how they live their life. So yeah, that's
So a lovebird will just fly alone.
yes, pretty much.
That's sad. I hope that they would go together, then they wouldn't have to
Well,
be alone.
and that would have been like something too, but I mean if you die, I'm not gonna die just because you died.
Well,
I
no,
love you.
That's
I
fucked
really
up.
do love you, like a lot.
Yeah.
But I'd love you just the same if you were on the shelf.
On the
You know? It's fine in my
Do we need to
eyes.
talk about this?
What do you mean?
About being on the shelf?
You're gonna get cremated
And
put on a shelf.
then what?
We won't go back into that.
Well, I said, are we
I'm still
sure we
gonna have
want
my good times. Anyways, so that's what I have on lovebirds, my love. You are my lovebird.
my little love
I
bird?
won't find
My love
another.
dove?
I won't find another after
That's why I used to call you my
But
love dove.
You're definitely going before me.
Wow, stop. Why would you say that?
Because I'm not gonna go. I told you. I'm living to be. Oh,
Don't
you gotta
say
throw your
that.
hearts at me.
Yeah.
Well, I love you, and I hope you live every day as long as I do.
Yeah, me too. Damn,
But I'm
asshole.
living to be a very long time.
Fine.
Okay. Anyways, that's all I have for you, my baby.
Okay.
Awesome.
I don't have anything else.
We'll go ahead and end it right there then.
All right.